And we have more breaking news. A jury has finally been selected and opening statements are getting started in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Prosecutors are expected to paint Combs as the head of a criminal organization who exploited his fame and fortune to sexually abuse women and men.
The biggest legal showdown in the music world has officially begun, and the intensity is already off the charts. Trouble is rapidly closing in on Sean Diddy Combs, and the stakes couldn't be higher. In a Bombshell interview, singer Al B. Sure, former partner of the late Kim Porter, has come forward with explosive claims that could alter the course of the entire trial. He's announced that he's prepared to testify against Diddy, and according to him, the mogul didn't just contribute to Kim's death, he may have tried to eliminate Al as well. For a long time, Diddy was seen as nearly invincible. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, he ruled the music industry, known for his business prowess but also whispered about for his bullying and abusive tendencies. Al B. Sure was among those who felt Diddy's wrath firsthand. To go back decades. In the early 90s, Al was in a relationship with model and actress Kim Porter, and they had a son together, Quincy. After their breakup, Kim began seeing Diddy around 1994, according to...
Him and Al never been the best of friends. He had motherfuckers think that he had adopted Quincy, and he never did. Al was never out of his son's life. I knew Al way back in Mount Vernon. He used to wear leather pants and 100 degrees. With Al. I knew it way back then though, man. Al a good dude. A good dude. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So if Al got something to say about that's happening to him and Puff has something to do with it, trust and believe he gonna have evidence to substantiate that Puff did that shit. Either he gave him something or sent something his way.
But what was the beef between Al B. Sure and Diddy? Like, why wasn't they on good terms?
The nigga was dating Kim. You understand? That's his kid's mother. And they was cool, they was friends. Misa and Kim was cool. They was all in that Uptown family, Uptown Records family. How you gonna date the mother of you my man, you cool, we all be around each other, and you dating the mother of my son? Alan never go try to date Misa. You know what I mean?
Gene Deal, a former bodyguard. Diddy essentially took Kim from Al, even going so far as to adopt Quincy and raise him as his own. Though Diddy and Kim's relationship was turbulent, lasting on and off until 2007. He publicly admitted that it ended because of his infidelity. But those close to the couple say far.
A lot of things happened to Kim that she never explained to her father. So to see that girl take that beating like that, her father probably thought within himself, that's some of the things that happened to my daughter. And it has to be sickening to him, knowing that his daughter probably went through the same shit that Cassie went through.
Yeah, he made a comment saying that he was disgusted when he seen that video. He even said that he wouldn't even do a dog like that, the way Diddy did Cassie.
Yeah. His heart would go out to Cassie because he's looking at the fact that his daughter's not here to even raise her own damn kids, man. His daughter's not here in the seat, because I got daughters myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I give my heartbeat, both my arms. And just to imagine to think that somebody was doing that to your daughter, bro. I know Kim got tired. That's why she took that corkscrew and ripped his damn arm out. Tried to rip his arm off for putting his hands on him. I know she was tired. Them pillow fights and that smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Yeah, he also told Rolling Stone that Diddy, he's a jealous person that don't know what love is.
He knows that, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bruh? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them.
Darker dynamics were at play behind the scenes. It wasn't just about cheating, there were serious allegations of physical abuse. Gene Deal recounted one incident that took place on Sunset Boulevard, where Diddy allegedly became aggressive with Kim inside a car. Kim exited the vehicle with composure but reportedly warned him to never lay hands on her again, vowing to make his actions public if he tried. This wasn't an isolated story, it matched up with later allegations by Cassie, Diddy's former girlfriend, who accused him of years of abuse. Many now believe Kim endured a similar pattern of mistreatment. Long before Cassie's experience came to light, I'll be sure initially had no personal vendetta against Diddy. But everything changed once Kim began confiding in him about her fears. She told Al she was scared that Diddy might hurt her. Tragically, in 2018, Kim suddenly passed away. The official cause of death was labeled pneumonia following flu-like symptoms. Diddy publicly mourned her, calling...
You seen how Al B. Shore, he came out saying that Kim Porter death needs to be looked into?
I think that Al being his ex-wife, he have every right, knowing about the stuff that came out about Diddy and what he was doing. You understand what he has done in the past, and people have overlooked it. By him coming out and saying that he hoped that he could get her case reopened. There was a guy called John Paperwork, the Paperwork Party. They would put in an open petition to get Kim's case reopened. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll be sure doing this is showing that, you know, he still got love for Quincy's mother. He still want to find out the truth because allegedly Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America think it's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, you know, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, you know, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh.
Telling her the love of his life despite their breakup. But Al wasn't convinced. He believed the grief Diddy displayed was entirely performative and suspected Diddy had a direct role in her death. Al began speaking out shortly after Kim's passing. He claimed Kim had been preparing to go public with her story, including a tell-all book that would expose disturbing truths about Diddy's life and behavior. According to
Diddy was terrified of Kim Porter's book. Just like Jay-Z was afraid of Kathy White's interview. It's funny how things that they're afraid of disappear.
Who you think is next on the chopping block? Because I believe there's a chopping block and there might be...
Oh, there is. Sean Carter. They're trying to avoid him. I'm going to make sure they can't. I have a total of 9 witnesses that are about to start coming forward. I'm going to walk them one by one. But the things that these people have to tell and the video evidence and the recordings that they had.
Wow.
It's worse than Diddy. A lot of psychological operations being ran on employees, former girlfriends, mothers of secret children, interns that refused to sign non-disclosure agreements. Their lives were literally blown to smithereens. I was lucky to survive him. If you really look at their careers, it's just a trail of bodies that they've been stacking up and standing on.
To him, Kim knew her safety was in jeopardy and had even warned Al that if something happened to her, it wouldn't be natural. She had shown him drafts of her book and told him it could bring down powerful people. After her death, Al noticed that Kim's phone and laptop where she kept her book notes had mysteriously vanished. Gene Deal later confirmed that Kim's personal devices disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Al stayed quiet for a while as he battled severe health issues that he now suspects were the result of foul play. He believes his sudden health decline wasn't accidental, that someone tried to silence him, just like they silenced Kim. But with Diddy now facing serious charges and legal pressure mounting, Al has stepped forward once again.
He was telling me before this interview that Dallas Austin, his daughter, was at her house the day she died.
Yo, I heard that the paperclip party broke that story because it was told to them by Kim's Porter father that is in the police report. That this is in the police report. That Dallas Austin's daughter, who was a friend of Kim's, left her house at 8 o'clock. That Kim had made a call, 911 call at 2:15 that morning. And I don't know what happened in the 911 call or what was said. But they said that Dallas Austin's daughter, according to Kim's father, was the woman that left her house at 8:15. So she was the last person, according to her, to see Kim alive. And that was broken by the paperclip party because they had a conversation with Kim's Porter father. That's crazy. Now, what was Kim's state? Why did, and in the report, didn't it say she had blood on the pillow and bruises or something like that? The case needs to be reopened, man. The case really needs to be reopened. Because if that girl was there and she said that Kim was all right, what happened from 8 to 11? And why did all Kim's stuff come up missing?
I ain't know any of that, man. I never heard of that. So when they found her, she had bruises and a lot of her stuff was missing?
Bro, it's a lot of suspect things going on. First and foremost, in our day and time, other than our house key, a woman gonna keep her phone and she got a lot of different purses, but everybody always grab their phone. Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter phone is? And they know they had iPhones. Why have nobody went to the cloud and got the text messages and the things off her phone? Because everything that came in that phone is text, and you know your iPhone find my phone. Nobody tried to find the phone?
And doubling down on everything he said before. This time, people are finally listening. Recently, Al posted online, saying he had been warning authorities for years, tagging law enforcement and sounding the alarm. He believes he was deliberately discredited, targeted in an organized effort to ruin his reputation and label him as unstable. Now, he says, he's been subpoenaed and could be required to testify in court. And he's ready. Al insists this isn't about seeking attention, it's about justice, truth, and honoring Kim's memory. When asked if he fears for his life, Al said no, he's survived speaking out this long. And that alone says a lot.
You gotta realize, man, Kim's death wasn't even investigated, bro. Her death wasn't even investigated. And it should have been a proper investigation so all the family members can feel like that there was no foul play in her death? How is it that you know how we are as a people? I don't believe that 10% of your viewers that's watching this don't keep their phone when they go to sleep in arm reach. How is it that there was no electronic products or gadgets around Kim's bed? Her laptop missing, her cell phone's missing. Everything is missing that she could get in touch with her little girls if they not at home or some friends or family. All that's missing. How is it that, and this is her say, that the detectives did not even view the body in the bed where she died at? That the coroner and them had already removed her, pronounced her dead, and told the detectives and them that it was no foul play. And if that is true, as I've heard it, and we read certain things on the internet about it, that case need to be reopened. We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation. Shout out to paperwork, at the paperwork part. I gotta shout him out, man, because he looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? Al ain't no fool, bro. Al is not a fool, and he's smart by getting extra security. I don't blame him at all. If I wasn't retired, I'd probably be working for him.
He pointed out that had he stayed silent, he might not be here today. Many mocked him for years, assuming he was simply bitter or attention-seeking. But as more details about Diddy's alleged crimes surface, Al's warnings suddenly seem all too real. He isn't just claiming Diddy hurt him, he's saying Diddy was behind Kim's death and possibly tried to end his life too. Supporters of Al argue there's no motive for him to fabricate these claims. He isn't gaining money or fame from this. If anything, he's putting himself at great risk. What's more alarming is that others close to Kim and Diddy have backed up key details of Al's story. According to them, Kim held information that could have utterly destroyed Diddy's career and legacy. Her silence may have ensured his survival in the public eye until now. Cassie's recent lawsuit and disturbing revelations only add more weight to the narrative that Diddy has long abused his power. Some even speculate that Cassie's decision to come forward might have saved her life. It's chilling to imagine what might have happened had she stayed quiet. This isn't just about one man's downfall, it's about confronting a larger system of silence and control in the entertainment world. Diddy isn't the only powerful figure with secrets, but he may be one of the most brazen. He allegedly committed acts of cruelty and abuse while the industry looked the other way. The tide is turning now. Survivors are speaking out, long-dismissed voices are being taken seriously, and a real conversation about accountability is underway. Whether Diddy is ultimately convicted remains to be seen. But this moment could...
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to be.
Let me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appeared to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest. All.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Burgess went on Banfield on News Nation, and he revealed that he was given 11 flash drives that contain alleged sex tapes involving Combs and celebrities. And he said, of the 8 celebrities on the tapes, those who are victims of Sean Combs, they're not perpetrators, victims, he said 2 or 3 were minors, which, as you know, is consistent with a number of allegations in the civil lawsuits that Sean Combs is currently facing. To be clear, though, Combs is currently not criminally charged with anything with respect to minors. That could change, but right now, he's just charged with trafficking, racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, but all with respect to adult victims. If there's a superseding indictment, he gets hit with new charges, possibly about victims, we shall see. But this is what brings me to what we're talking about right now. So, Mr. Burgess has claimed that he got these flash drives from the late girlfriend of Sean Combs, Kim Porter, who, as we know, tragically died several years back from what authorities concluded was lobar pneumonia. And that is despite the fact that there have been rumors, both online and in the media, that there is something more to her death. And that, to be clear, totally unsubstantiated. That has been debunked. We've talked about it here on Sidebar multiple times. But putting that aside, here is the other thing with Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used.
Mark a turning point in how power, protection, and abuse are handled in Hollywood for the first time. Many believe justice may finally be within reach, not just for Kim and Al, but for every survivor who was told to stay silent.